I have a question. I want to preface it with the idea that when I first read the Bible, I said, I can't read this like a Christian or a Buddhist or a Muslim. I got to read it as a Jew. And I've been getting in these debates over Exodus 15:3, Song of the Sea, where it says God is a man and a man of war. I've heard your answer to this a lot before, so
Interesting.
I know you're going to say it's a master or something like that. People don't like
Sure.
that. Could he be?
Well, all right.
a
Thank you for your question.
Great. Go ahead and hang him down to me for your answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's an etymological fallacy. Just like when people say anti-Semitism doesn't just mean hatred of Jews, but all descendants of Semites, which is a fallacy. The same, it's a game. The word anti-Semite was developed by an anti-Semite, a German anti-Semite, who didn't like the word Jew hatred because it wasn't classy enough. So the word was made in order to say Jew hatred in a way that's more hoich. It doesn't sound as barbaric. So an etymological fallacy is to take a word. You spoke of the Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, in verse 15 in Exodus. Hashem ish milchama, Hashem shmo. So it says that God is a ish milchama. So there it means a master of war. Now, if you're a Christian and you're a Trinitarian, you want to say, aha, we finally found a proof that God is a man. This is a tragedy. It's such a tragedy. It's like a tragedy when you're walking on the street and you have a young fellow comes over to you. Do you have a cigarette? You tell him you don't smoke, but you really want to say to him, why are you smoking? Why are you destroying your life? So this etymological fallacy means that you take a word and you assign it only one possible meaning. You constrict it, and then you produce your thesis. The word ish certainly can mean a man, but it doesn't only mean a man. The word ish can also mean a husband, just like isha can mean a woman, and it can also mean a wife, right? So the word ish can mean a master, one who takes control, as an example. The book of Kings essentially begins with King David is dying, and that's the real massive opening of the book of Kings, Sefer Melachim. David is dying, and now it is time for his heir to be anointed. And there's a crisis going on. There's a crisis going on. Which son is going to be anointed? But that's not germane. What is germane is that there's an intervention that goes on very quickly. David HaMelech, King David, is 70 years old, and he's on his deathbed. And Solomon is chosen, okay? So that's how the Book of Kings begins. And the Book of Kings then is devoted not just to Solomon, but eventually to his progeny, who are the Davidic dynasty. I want to point you to a passage, to a speech that King David makes to his son, King Solomon. And he says to him, Anochi hoilech, this is 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 2, is Anochi hoilech b'derech kol haaretz, that he's gonna die. And he says, and then he says to v'chozakto v'hoyisalish, he says, be strong and be a master. He's not saying to him, be a man, because he's already a man. It's not he was a woman and become a man, or he was a human. He wasn't a human. He's not. He says, be strong, and show that you have the spine and the strength necessary to be a leader of the children of Israel. So it's very clear he's not saying to someone who wasn't a man to be a man, who wasn't male to be a male, who wasn't, it's take control. Now, there are many other examples of this. So it's so sad. It really breaks my heart, because there's so many sweet, nice Christians out there that I've come to know. and that they would want to ask for a cigarette, that they would scour the Hebrew Bible, which is so clear. Atahu Hashem levadecha, you alone are Lord. Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 6. Like, what more could you want? You alone are Lord. What do you need? How much evidence that smoking contains hundreds of carcinogens that will kill you in so many different ways to quit? And yet they look for anything, any possible word or verse that could be construed to something else because they just want their drink, because they just want their cigarette. They want their idolatry. They want to worship a man as God, as a distinct hypostatic entity. And I'm bothered. Why? So when I was a youngster, I didn't like non-Jews. I didn't like them because I never met, with the exception of one lady, Sally. I assume she's not alive anymore. She was a very sweet woman. But I didn't meet any nice non-Jews. I just didn't. Every non-Jew was treated me terribly for no reason at all. And I was born 15 years after the Holocaust. I knew it was only Christian countries that were directly involved in the destruction of European Jewry. But now, my views changed when I met such nice, sweet Christians in my 20s. They actually started attending my lectures. What happened is I started speaking in my early 20s. I started doing public speaking, and there were Christians who attended and introduced themselves to me, and they were very interested. They were Christians, evangelical Christians, but they were very fine people. I mean, it was very clear to me these were not the kinds of folks I grew up with in the highly, gentrified Brooklyn. And it shocked me that there were nice non-Jews, nice Christians. And I had to reassess everything that I thought. But and therefore it bothers me. Like there are such fine Christians out there. You're good people. So why would you scour text looking for any ambiguous word that could be marshaled to sustain and bolster your idolatry? Look, there are many words that can mean man in Hebrew. There are a number of them. They all, incidentally, with one exception, can be in the plural. Gever could be in the plural. So those words can mean man, but they don't necessarily actually mean. If you want to talk about mankind, humanity, the human being, and it means nothing else, it can only mean that. It's that only one word, and it cannot be in the plural because it means mankind, man. In fact, it can refer both to the man or the woman, and that's Adam. And there's no plural for it. Adam, like Adam's name, and Eve is also called Adam. So that word and that word alone can only mean human being. Can't mean anything else. Now, what tragic, it's so sad because some of them are bad faith actors that make me crazy and write all this hate stuff against me. Some of them are not, a little nutty, but I don't know, whatever. I'm not a psychiatrist, but so many Christians are good faith actors. They really love God. They really want to do the right thing. It's true they grew up with their mother saying that Jesus loves you and they don't want to go to hell. I understand that. I get the whole deal. So why would you fall for this? Why? I want to end this program with this point. Whenever you have an ambiguous passage in the Bible, and there are such passages that are ambiguous, I'm not saying this passage is, but just in general, there is a law of hermeneutics that is so fundamental that you always take clear passages and marshal them to understand passages that are not clear. So here the word ish is being used, which is it could mean man, it could be a husband, it could mean, man up, meaning take control. It could be a master. So you always take clear passages, which the vast majority of them are, and you use those as a measuring tool, as a light to understand and interpret passages that are not clear. Never the other way around. And every cult in the world does exactly that. They take ambiguous passages and use those, they marshal them to reinterpret passages that are so clear. All right. So this is an etymological fallacy, which means you constrict the word to having only one possible meaning, and then that's a fallacy. And then you go, aha, this proves it, because it proves nothing. It only proves that you really haven't done your homework. Anyways, thank you so much for your thoughtful question, William.
So you're trying to take off early today? Is that what's up?
Is it early? I don't think
you got about 10 minutes left.
No, we don't.
Guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, go to Rabbi Singer's channel as well, and also don't forget his 2-volume book set, Let's Get Biblicals, Volume 1 and 2. The audio files are available, but the CDs are not, but they're available on his website.
The MP3. Let me say, I want to just one other thing
Go
for
ahead.
you guys. Listen carefully. Pay no attention to that man. No, listen to me. It's so important. If you believe in the work that William is doing, that we're doing here, whenever you watch any of our videos, please like it and please share it. It's very important because it really affects the algorithm so that our videos are spread around. So really it's very, very important that whenever you see a video of William, a video of mine, it's very important to like it. I hope we like it.
Yeah.
But if you do, don't just pass it. Just make sure you like it and make sure that you subscribe to channels, because it really has a very big impact on spreading Torah throughout the world. It's very, very important. You should really go through our videos and make sure that those videos that you haven't liked yet, you do like them. It really has a very, very big impact on spreading this message. Anyway, shalom.
Yeah. And commenting on them also helps generate views as well, so it kind of refreshes them on the system. So, Rabbi, thank you. Great show, and we'll see you, Hashem willing, same time, same place next week. Shalom, everyone. Bye.